funny what Dominator says. Word Delilah says, hey, Dominator, you look like a beautiful rainbow in the... Just like that when Delilah says, hey, Dominator, you look just like a beautiful rainbow, word Delilah says, and you look just like the rainbows, word Delilah says, fun, right? Word Dominator says, I do not want to look like a beautiful rainbow, I want to be pink again, word Pepper says, relax, Dominator, word Pepper says, magic stick, give me a word, word Pepper says, thanks, word Pepper says, wait, does pink start the letter P? Word Pepper says, yeah, it does, word Pepper says, okay, Dominator, I'll make you pink again, word Dominator says, oh, finally! Thanks, Pepper! Word Pepper says, no pleasure, Dominator. Word Delilah says, after that singing Mixie! Word Delilah says, wait, it's going this way! Word Delilah says, I think our friends are bad luck trying to get rid of those weeds. And just like that when Delilah says, I think our friends are still having bad luck trying to get rid of those weeds. Where Daisy says, go away, weeds. Where Flex says, go away, weeds. Where Daisy says, you heard him. Go away, you noisy weeds. Where Scout says, what is going on? And just like that when Scout says, what is going on? Where Scout says, and where's the others? And where's Dominator? Where Scout says, and what in the world's going on? Where Daisy says, Scout, a little help. Where Scout says, why? Where Flex says, we're trying to get rid of those weeds. Can you help us? Where Scout says, oh, don't worry, guys. I got this. Where Daisy says, can you make them go away? Where Scout says, now, I'm a cat. I can't make them go away, but I can speak horn. Where Scout says, watch. This Scout says, where Scout says, Hong Kong, Hong Kong, where Scout says, see, that was easy. Where Scout says, ugh, and they're back. Where Scout says, how about I get shy shouting them? Where Scout says, you might want to cover your ears. Where Scout says, Hong Kong, Hong Kong, where Scout says, see, that was easy. Where Scout says, not again. Where Delilah says, wait, do you hear something? Where Delilah says, wait, I think I hear it. Where Delilah says, where's that singing coming from? Where Delilah says, I know that singing. Where Delilah says, that singing comes from over there. Where Delilah says, it's that singing Mixie. Where Delilah says, after that singing Mixie. Where Delilah says, it's going over there. Where Dominator says, the sparkly swamp, this will be perfect. Where Dominator says, oh, this isn't a swamp. Where Dominator says, it's bright and colorful. Where Dominator says, and it smells like flowers. Where Delilah says, the sparkly swamp, it smells like perfume, right, Dominator? Where Delilah says, they make it clean. They have bubbles because of that cutie mark on your skirt. Where Delilah says, whoa, Dominator, you can't walk over them. If you walk over them, they might flow you off down air. Where Delilah says, they're called the silly pads. Where Delilah says, if you want to walk over them, you had to act silly. Where Dominator says, please tell me you're not kidding. Where Delilah says, no, like this. Knock, knock, who's there? Delilah. Then Delilah says, when it's a door, not a door. When it's ajar, knock, knock, who's there? Where Delilah says, see, now you try. Where Dominator says, nope, not doing that. Silly's just being silly. I want to walk normal. I'm sure I'll be fine. Where Dominator says, wow! Oof! Where Pepper says, Dominator, are you alright? Where Dominator says, oh! Where Dominator says, no, I'm not alright. Where Dominator says, I'm clean. This is it. And I smell like flowers. Where Pepper says, hey, where's your cutie mark? Where Dominator says, oh, not again. Where Pepper says, don't worry, I'll get your cutie mark back. Where Pepper says, magic stick, give me a word. Where Pepper says, thanks. Where Pepper says, wait, does cutie mark start the letter C? Where Pepper says, yeah, it does. Cutie mark does start the letter C. Where Pepper says, abracadabra, cutie mark. Where Dominator says, finally, thanks, young. Where Pepper says, no problem. Where Pepper says, this time walk on the lily pads. This time act silly. Where Dominator says, I don't know how to act silly. Where Delilah says, come on, Dominator, do it, please. Where Dominator says, I am. Where Pepper says, Uh-oh, this is gonna be harder than I thought. Word purpose. I know. How about I can make Dominator silly? Word purpose. Wait, does silly start with the letter S? Word purpose. Yeah, it does. It starts here with the letter G. Word purpose. Abracadabra silly. Word purpose. Come on, guys. Word purpose. Knock knock. Who there? Pepper. Word Delilah says knock knock. Who there? Delilah. Word the Paw Squad says knock knock. Who there? The Paw Squad. Word Dominator says let me do it. Word Dominator says knock knock. Who there? Dominator. Word purpose. Okay, Dominator, we made it. You can stop being silly now. Word Dominator says, no! Word Dominator says, I can't! Word Purpose says, quick, magic stick, give me a word! Word Purpose says, thanks! Word Purpose says, wait, does Grumpy start with the letter G? Word Purpose says, yeah, it does! We can make Dominator Grumpy again! Word Pepper says, abracadabra, Grumpy! Word Purpose says, you're alright, Dominator? Word Dominator says, no, I'm not alright. I was silly. Word Dominator says, I'm not okay. Word Delilah says, onwards! Word Delilah says, hey, there's a singing Mixie. We're almost there. Word Delilah says, let adventures begin. Word Delilah says, onwards! Word Delilah says, hey, it went that way. Word Delilah says, inside of that rock. Word Delilah says, I wonder who lives here. Word Delilah says, we'll have to open up and see. Word Delilah says, Word Parle says, hey, I'll say we never have visitors. Word Parle says, hi. Word Parle says, I'm Parle Popstar. Word Delilah says, hi, I'm Delilah, and these are my friends. Pepper, Spike, Molly, and Dominator. Word Delilah says, and what's yours? Word Parle says, hi, I'm Parle Star. Word Delilah says, and who's that one? Word Parle says, that's Rosie. She doesn't say this much. Word Parle says, she's a little shy. Word Dominator says, hey Parle. Word Parle says, yes. Word Dominator says, can you get rid of those noisy weeds? Word Parle says, of course I am. Word Parle says, come on guys, follow me and Rosie. Let's get rid of those noisy weeds. Word Scout says, oh, Mr. Leaf, come out and play. Word Scout says, oh, Mr. Leaf, please come out and say honk. Word Scout says, oh, Mr. Leaf, come out and say honk. Word says, Paw Squad, Delilah, Pepper, Dominator, you're back. Word Delilah says, yes, we're back. And look who we brought with us, Parlo and Rosie. Word Delilah says, Scout, what are you doing here? Word Scout says, I'm just helping. Then Parlo starts singing a song called You're Not Gonna Bring Me Down. Then Parlo and Rosie had to sing to make those weeds go away. Word Dominator says, yes, Parlo, Rosie, you did it. Word Dominator says, my home is safe. Now those weeds are gone. Word Dominator says, I'm so happy that those weeds are gone. Word Scout says, who wants some music?